All right, here we go. Ho! That's right, people. Once again, it's Totally Local After Dark. And there's a whole new show now. Totally Local After Dark in the hot seat. That's right. We got a couple lovely guests that are willing to talk to me about life on the inside. That's right. Lockdown with your affianced. Jodi. Tom. How you doing?
We're doing great. Very excited to.
There's a little delay in the answer, which makes me nervous that Jodi is a handful during COVID. But we'll get into that in a second. First of all, thank you guys. Hello, Jodi.
Hey, how are you?
People might not know that you were my first ever guest ever.
And also my first podcast.
Oh, see? And it's been it's been uphill ever since. It's been a battle, just every day, getting out there, interviews, doing stuff. But I always remember Jodi really having patience with me and sitting down with Brother Ming to connect and commiserate. And I thought it went really well. And you said you were nervous when you after you did it. You said you were a little nervous, but I was
completely nervous.
And it's surprising because you have like a pole, a ring and a pole in your bedroom that you swing from, and you post it to Instagram. No? What's your
I don't have to talk while I'm doing it. I could just swing around.
I know, but it's you're putting yourself out there, which I appreciate. What's your Instagram for that? What's your handle?
Fly and Release Yoga.
Okay, Fly and Release Yoga. Go check it out. Now, that is in the bedroom, right? That is in your bedroom quarters?
It's in the guest bedroom.
Oh, okay. All right.
So any guest that comes over, we welcome you. You get to snuggle up with the lolly.
Is that what it's called? The lolly?
A lollipop.
Oh, nice. I couldn't imagine myself like being around it and not wanting to just like swing around. Tom, do you find yourself like you're home alone, you're in your tighty whities, no one's looking, and you're just like, I'm going for it? Has it happened?
Every single day. And it converts. So the bottom half is a pole, and then you could put either the lollipop, this big ring on it, or you could take that off and make it just a full length, like 10.
That's good. That's a good core workout. I mean, if nothing else,
There's no shortage of boredom here.
Okay, well, that's what I like to hear. You guys are official. Let me see the rock. Boom, there it is. You've been doing a lot of this pose, or a lot of this pose, or when you go to get stuff, you're like, oh, let me get that for you.
Drink in the left hand.
So when did this happen? Congratulations. When did this happen?
Thank you.
February 7th was the big date. And we were pretty lucky that we got it all in. I had a little gathering at the Parlor Gallery.
Wow.
Shout out to Jen Hampton for helping.
Shout out to Jen Hampton.
Yeah, she helped me put together a really nice party.
Nice. That's so sweet of her.
Family. I guess you just maybe missed the cut. I'm sorry.
That's okay. No, it's fine.
We're
Listen,
close.
No, you're doing a lot. I didn't do that much when I proposed. So, my wife, it was kind of like when we first met, it was kind of just set. So I was just kind of waiting for the day to just be like, and she was like,
Speaking of, congratulations with little Gus.
Yeah. Oh man, what a joy and a handful. It's like a nonstop. I don't really have a. I mean, aside, I'm doing the podcast here. Obviously, I have a second I could do this, but like, I'm not sitting around all day. It's just you have to take. There's a person, and you have to take care of them because they can't do it. They don't know how to do taxes or pay bills or anything. So
do we know how to do that?
I mean, fake it till you make it. I've made it this far, and I'm not thrown in debtor's prison. So that's good. I got that going for myself. So you orchestrated a whole thing and got like herding cats. You got family and friends together, and Jodi had no idea.
I think we kept a really good secret.
Wow.
about like 8 weeks of planning. I first started with her mom.
Got smart. You're a super genius, obviously.
Make sure she was on board. I mean, otherwise we'd have more work to do.
Yeah.
And then her cousin Sarah, who was, a big part of Jodi's life and helped me to coordinate getting all these people together in one place on a Friday night at Parlor. And essentially, Jodi had made a dinner plan with her other friend to go to Taka that night. Intercepted the plan. I called the friend and it said, Jodi's gonna think we're going to Taka at 7 p.m., but instead we're gonna be across the street with everybody waiting.
Wow.
So on the way to Taka, literally I had the Uber drop us off 2 blocks away. And as we're walking up, I proposed and she's like, "Why are you doing this?" Like right before we're going out to dinner.
Were you like on Cookman or something?
We were on Cookman Ave, yeah.
Wow, so that's cool.
Which happened to be the exact place where we first
boom,
crossed paths.
Perfect.
Yeah, so it was the exact spot.
What do you mean? What do you mean by cross paths? What does that mean exactly? Is that how you guys met? Were you like, "Hey there, good looking"? Finger guns. How'd that go?
Yeah, there was.
That was Jodi.
But yeah.
Good old Bumble brother.
Nice. Yeah. I'm old school. We met on OkCupid, but just missed the cutoff. Lauren loves when I tell the story to all the youngsters out there when I'm like, just missed the cutoff for all the cool apps that are just like, "Hey, what's up?"
When you swipe.
Yeah, I missed all that. I missed it all. I'm not saying I missed it, but I missed it. You know what I mean?
Sure.
But so you guys were on a dating app, but you were both pretty serious about dating. You weren't just about like bump and grind. You were like bump and grind and a little something extra.
He said he could have dinner with anyone.
Mm-hmm.
So
that must have made you feel special. I can have dinner with anybody. You can get that.
Completely. He was like, I could have share a meal with anyone. He's a really good conversationalist, so
I get that.
That's what we did. We had a meal together, and then we went to Little Buddies, and Little Buddies has some prime entertainment at times.
It was a Thursday night in November, so
we went to it wasn't Little Buddies, it was before it was Little Buddies, but actually on mine and Lauren's first date, we went to Taco when it was in the other building. And then we went over to what it would become Little Buddies. So that's very interesting.
Wow.
Yeah, two
okay. Yeah.
So you guys date, and Jodi, like what was your first date impressions of this guy? Was he a keeper, or did he have to win you over just time and time again? How did that work?
You know what? We just had a really great time on the first date. And then the next date, it was a really great time. And each date, it was so much fun. And we were just having, I hate to say the word great again, but we were.
It was great. Now it's great.
It was great. And we were really having such a good time together and
That's
having
what it's all about.
Getting to know each other. It was easy.
Yeah.
We both have had challenging relationships in the past, haven't we all?
Oh, certainly. I'm a bad dater. I don't date often, and I don't date well. I'll date somebody for a long period of time, and then I can go for a while without any kind of dates, and I'm cool with it, because.
Well, you got a diamond in the rough with Lauren.
Oh, well, yeah,
Lauren, yes.
It was kind of the same thing with us. We just kind of hung out and we're like, "Yeah, you're cool." And they're like, "You're cool." And then like that was, what else do you really, that's, you want to be with somebody that you could, it's not just all, fairy tales and going out there and exciting. You got to make it through the hills. You got to make it through the low points, the middle points. Sometimes you're just sitting around, you got to look at each other and you got to find somebody that you look over and you're just like, all right, Obviously, the high points too are good.
I don't want to give away too much, but we're in our 30s, so it's a lot different when you're together meeting at this age than if you were to meet at 23 years old.
Yeah,
and so it wasn't like, we were both very open and receptive, but our guards are up a little bit, and you want to make sure that that person is really who they represent themselves to be. And so it probably took a month or two before it clicked in my head where I was like, okay, this is the one. I'm pretty sure. And I took another couple months to really make sure.
Man.
And so far, to this day, there's no skeletons in the closet, no red flags.
Well, I think we should share with everyone like the story of.
Oh yeah, well now you do.
I feel like we should share this. This is like good stuff.
Right.
You can't make this stuff up.
Perfect.
So we meet on Bumble.
November 1st.
November 1st. We go out on some dates. We're having a great time, and then again, we're just enjoying each other and taking it too seriously. We're just having a good time, good conversation, good meals. And about a month into us dating,
Thanksgiving.
It was Thanksgiving. He says, so what do you do for Thanksgiving? And I say, I go to my aunt and uncle's house, and they have 3 kids. And then my other aunt and uncle, and they have 3 kids. And I start naming them. He goes, and says their last name. And I look at him, I tilt my head, and I'm like thinking in my head, are you a stalker?
How do you know my Uncle Norman?
Yeah. So I said, I was like, how do you know my family? Trying not to say red flag stalker here. And he said, he goes, they have been patients of mine for the last 8 years.
Oh, wow.
Actually known my aunt, uncle, and cousin, some of my cousins for 8 years. I guess it's 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
And
so you were in there, Tom. You were in there. I mean, you're a dentist, which is like pretty good. People, that's in the pro column, and then the family likes you.
Fortunately, they were good patients, and they did like me. They could be in that 1 or 2% in the other category, and that would have been. But
they love him.
So.
That Thanksgiving was very fun. I showed up. I go, guys, you'll never guess who I'm dating. And I was like, you're never going to guess, literally never guess. And so I told them, and they were so excited because they love him.
And you're like, Mom, your family, you're like, he's a dentist. And your mom's like, sweet.
Yeah, I mean, Jewish mother, what do you.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like, it's like, I met a guy. He's he's a roadie for Metallica. It's like, no.
Yeah.
Listen, 20 years ago, oh gosh, yeah, I would have said yes.
Yeah. So everything's going well. Everything's going swimmingly. You propose. You guys are living in this ecstatic state, and then a pandemic sweeps the world, and you're trapped together in a house, and you can't leave. How many times has it come to blows? Basically, is what I want to know. Like, was there any kind of physical interactions or yelling?
No, I think honestly it was very fortunate that this happened at this time.
Mm-hmm.
We're living together, and it's the ultimate test, putting us in like a little, pressure cooker, and accelerating the years of the relationship. I don't think we would have spent this much time together with our work schedules across a 5-year period as we last 8 weeks.
Oh yeah, it got serious. When
it kind of gave us a flash forward.
When is the date for the wedding?
Well, we may actually be just doing it on this podcast.
Perfect! I could probably
wait. Should we just do it now? Can you do this, Andrew?
Yeah. Let me find a instant. I could
actually. Lauren is.
Oh yeah, I could wake her up. I could hold the baby, and she could definitely do that. I mean, that's what I recommend. We kept it very. We played it fast and loose with the wedding. We didn't really do a traditional one, and we just wanted to We just wanted to do it.
Your wedding was so much fun. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, it turned out it was a lot to do with Diana Marie, Epic Shouts, Bond Street. They were very accommodating, and it all worked out. But we really didn't. I watched a lot of those reality bride shows. I mean, I don't know if Tom, if you have to watch this kind of stuff, but I was basically brainwashed.
Every now and then.
Yeah, so I knew kind of what to expect, and it went okay. And also, I don't know how much you believe in horoscopes and stuff, but I'm with a Sagittarius as well. And that was my opening line to her, was like, actually, our signs don't match. They either get along swimmingly, like 100%, or they get along like 0%. Like there's no like leeway in between. So I know what it's like, if you believe in that sort of thing, dealing with a Sagittarius woman in a relationship. It could be it could be, there's a lot of ups and downs, a lot of tumultuous.
What do you mean? We're great. Are you kidding me?
Oh
I
yeah,
think we fulfill our horoscopes.
yeah. What's your sign, man?
I'm Virgo.
Oh, there you go. Perfect.
Yeah.
There you go. See, it works out well.
And I was, before I knew what that was or looked it up, I mean, that was me.
I mean, I'm basically, what my life consists of now is I organize the pantry, I organize where the batteries are. Like it took our relationship a long time to get to the point for me to be like, honey, all the batteries are on this shelf in the basement, and that's where they go. And if I find them anywhere else, I don't know what I'm capable of. I don't know what's going to happen. So that's the dynamic between our relationship. And she kind of goes along with it now. And I mean, she appreciates it, basically, you know. So there's an order to the chaos. Anyway, that's what I've found. But what's it been like now? You know, I don't know if you're aware of this, but on the very first episode where Jodi was the guest, she brought a guy with her to the thing, and I'm like, who's this guy? But I'm a pretty good judge of character, or at least I like to think so when I meet somebody. Lauren says I make faces a lot, and I don't really think about it, but my faces are very expressive, and if you catch up, like, she's like, what's wrong with you? What do you mean? I'm like, no, nothing, I'm fine. And she's like, well, your face isn't. There's something, you know. So,
you have a great face, Andrew.
Thank you. It's just, it gets me into trouble sometimes because it's expressive, and I try to like have the poker face, which I believe I did. But when I met you on the podcast for the first time, and the guy that you brought, I was like immediately like, no, I'm like, this isn't, first of all, not good for the podcast. Second of all, not good for Jodi. I don't see this. I don't see this working out. And when I met Tom for the first, I was like, oh, this is it. This is what we got. And this is a way before the proposal, but I knew. I was like, oh, this is great. This is what's going to happen right here.
Yes, awesome.
Do you remember when we met?
Yeah, we met at that after that show, after the
Remember Jones.
Yeah, the Remember Jones show. We met outside, and then we went over to the bar and had a couple drinks at Jamian's. And then I think you guys went to go get a shepherd's pie over at the Dublin House afterwards.
I think that happened.
I believe that's exactly how it happened. I could be wrong. So yeah, I do remember that. I am a good judge of character, and I could tell if I'm like, okay, this is good. I could see this.
He's also your super fan, so that helps, right?
Yeah. Oh, definitely.
I do. Yeah, I've listened to almost all the episodes.
Yeah, I apologize. I know you listen to the audio versions, and I'm a little behind on the audio ones. I keep up with it on Facebook and YouTube, and I got to process there's a lot of steps to it now, but I'm once I get back into the swing of it, I'm almost caught up. I should be good to go as far as the audio podcast goes. But the last one we did right before this one was a trivia show. Good times, Trivia All Stars. A lot of good guests on that one, and I've been doing daytime ones. The nighttime ones are fun for me, more so in the sense I'm a little looser and whatever. The daytime ones are they're fun as well, but it's tough in these times to it's 10 o'clock, the kid's asleep. What am I going to do? Sit around, watch TV, or talk to you wonderful people? So
After Dark hot seat. Here we. Cheers to that.
All right.
Yeah. Cheers. I love it. So wait a second. Did you kind of evaded my question before? You don't have a date per se. You don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah, it's near impossible to plan an event now. Especially of that magnitude, where you want all your closest friends and family. So we're gonna, like you said, use your words. We're gonna play it fast and loose.
There you go. That's what you got to do, and you just can't if it rains, if this happens, you forgot this. I mean, Lauren didn't write any vows. She totally forgot to write the vows. So, and I was like, all right, whatever. You know, so that's you don't get looser than that. Just going up there and be like, I don't know, like here he is. I was like, okay, this works. This feels about right.
Right, because it's about the bigger picture, and
Yeah.
so.
And if it'll all, like, you know, everything that needs to happen will happen. Are you thinking Asbury Park? Are you thinking in this area? You're not going to do some destination bullshit, aren't you?
Not destination, especially now is not a great time to travel.
that's
probably
true.
in the next year. Too unpredictable.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's going to be someplace close, easy. You know, we want our friends and family to be there as best they can without. I don't want to put people out.
Yeah, I don't get that, man. I don't get like people going to Ireland. Like, no offense to Ireland. Ireland's great if you're Irish and you're there. But like, you know, having somebody spend like, it's a lot of money and stuff. You know, weddings are expensive regardless. And then you go to another country. Not even a cool, like, you know, not like it's like a warm like climate. You're gonna go somewhere like, I don't know why I'm stuck on Ireland. I love Ireland. I'm sorry, you know, everyone out there that's Irish that's listening. I love you, but it's just, you're not tan. You're not tan, and you're not wearing any skimpy clothing. I'd rather
Andrew, I don't think any of us are tan.
Not
These are the three whitest people right here.
We went, you know, we've been spending, obviously we'll go in the yard and hang out. We bring the kid out there, obviously. And Lauren was like, he got too much. So he is like, I'm pale. Doesn't have really the Italian side, as far as I could tell. He's like me, like white. Like you can see veins in my forehead. You can definitely see veins in his forehead. Very translucent, possibly.
Oh, that baby skin.
Yeah. So like he's like, you know, and she was like, oh man, he got sun. He got too much sun. He's like white. He's white as a sheet. And she's like, oh, look at him. He's all red. I'm like, he's not red at all. So we kind of balance each other out on that stuff too, as far as the baby. Speaking of, you know, babies, what do you guys feel about? How do you feel about babies? You pro babies? You like babies?
Well, we're not pregnant. I'll tell you that.
That's good.
It actually does have alcohol in it.
All right, that's good.
So yeah, I posed this question to multiple people, like, and usually after a few drinks at like you know, this time of night. I'm trying to get, you know, parents who are our age to sell us on kids, because we know the argument against kids, which is live this amazing life that we're living right now, kind of carefree, you know, pre-COVID, like, you know, want to go skiing this weekend. We want to go to Atlantic City. We want to do this. Don't have to think about it. Trying.
Yeah, you don't get to do that anymore.
We're trying to get somebody. It's like, okay, tell us the benefits, because when we see parents, our friends who are parents, like they're all stressed out. They're like, you know, by the time the weekend comes along, they're like exhausted. They don't even want to go out Friday, Saturday. They're addicted to caffeine. They're, you know, bloodshot eyes and all that. So it's and a lot of complaining, I guess.
You're not really making a lot of positive. It's a lot of negative stuff. You're not saying these people that you're interacting with, but they don't say anything bad. They love every miserable second of it, right?
And that's it. So we're not. Yeah. So
imagine like not being able to sleep when you want, and having to take care of somebody, and having somebody's life in your hands, and having to constantly consider what they, you know, need and want, obviously, and your life is over as you know it. So it's great. I love it.
Sounds like you're speaking from experience.
It's I don't, you know, I was never like somebody to be like, oh, I want kids, but like Lauren like was very adamant and serious about having children, and I kind of just, I was like, she makes good decisions and has good ideas. So, you know, she had like a PowerPoint presentation all worked out in the boardroom, brought me in, sat down, gave me some snacks, and laid it all out. And I was like, you know, okay. It's really hard to describe. I mean, do you like I don't like children. I love my child, and I like children in general. Like I like, you know, I like things. I like all kinds. I like people, whatever. But I'm not like one of those people. I have relatives. My dad's like that, loves kids. Like, hey, kid, blah blah blah. I'm like, I don't want to like, you know, I don't want to really be bothered with other children. But my kid, I you know, he's super fun and he's hilarious. Do you guys like children? Or are you scared of them?
Well, I think we should be careful in case our future child is listening.
No, this is great.
We love them. We love
you.
all of them.
Yes.
We love them.
Oh man.
No, we do. We like.
Yeah.
He has 2 nephews, and I have some nieces and nephews, and
We're very open and receptive to it. But it's not like if we don't have a child, our life's purpose is not fulfilled.
Mm-hmm.
I think we both hope that it does happen one day, but it's not. We actually couldn't be more indecisive and on the same page at the same time.
Yeah, that's good. I mean, that's good that you're on the same page. Eventually, one way or another, it might just happen. So, you just be like, oops, here you go.
exactly.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like, I don't know if it's kind of like skydiving in the sense of like people are like, I want to go skydiving. I want to do that. And then you kind of like, you get up there, you're like, why the hell am I doing this? And then you just kind of thrust yourself out of a plane and you're just speeding towards the ground with a, uncertain future. The chute might not open. I don't know. You might not get into college. I have no idea what's going to happen. And you're kind of just flying by the seat of your pants and you're figuring it out as you go along. It's kind of like trying to explain like being drunk to a teetotaler. Like if somebody's never had a drink before and they're just like, why do you drink? And then you're just like, it's kind of fun. It's basically that's what having a child is just like drinking, basically. So if you love to drink, have a child is what I'm trying to say.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Good analogy.
Yeah, I like the plane because once you jump out, there's no going back.
Oh, there isn't. Like I don't know if I have the maturity level, or I don't know if I've read the right books, because I certainly haven't read any books, but I'm in a position now where like I am in charge of this person's life, and like, for a while anyway. But it's like I can't. I wish I if my wife watches this, she's gonna like punch me, but like I can't. There's nothing I could say to convince you that it's fun, but it's like it's a lot of fun, it's a lot of responsibility, and going skiing and going to Atlantic City, like it gets old after a while. Skiing is fun and everything, but wouldn't it be fun to have like a little spawn, like you push them down the hill and they're like skiing, and then you're like, look at that, I like skiing. And I'm forcing them to ski whether they like it or not. This is great.
Right. Right.
So, I mean, I guess it's either this way. It's either a lot of thinking or it's no thinking. You just go with it, and then you have a kid, and now we're, you got to start planning. Okay, we have one kid. Are you guys only children, or you guys have siblings?
No.
See, then you get to a point where it's just like, all right, well, I got one. Maybe
is that what's happening for you right now?
Oh, I mean, I have siblings. I come from a bigger family, and it's something that even before we had a kid, we thought about, like, if you're gonna have one, then you're just like, well, am I gonna have two? Although, like, it was really like the baby was just very very difficult in the very very. There's a lot to do, and there's a lot you don't know. And in the beginning, it's like, no, there's no sleep. No, people don't tell you. People kind of laugh at you. They kind of just like, oh, you're having a kid.
Good luck with that.
But it's a lot of like sleepless nights going on in the beginning, and you wonder, like, you're just like, oh my God, At that point, I was like, there's no way I'm having another kid. Now I'm like softening back up to the idea of having one more.
I think we would be a one and done.
Yeah, well, I mean, who knows? That's at some points I was thinking that, but it's something to consider. And then, oh man, I don't know what your parents are like, but have your parents mentioned grandkids yet?
So my parents were really big on my case years ago, and then until my sister had two boys, and now they have their hands full. It took all the pressure off of me, which was.
That's good. What about?
I don't get any pressure.
No pressure?
Nope. My parents don't give me any pressure at all.
Are they like with their eyes, or what? They're not saying. They're not doing anything. They don't say anything like, it might be nice. They don't say anything.
My mom says, if the timing's right, or when everything's right, but never, ever, she never pressures me into it at all.
Is your mom the type of person to kind of just let you do what you want and then have her own thoughts, and then when you do it, she'll come out and say what she's thinking? Or is she just kind of open and will let you know how she's thinking?
I mean, I think she's just adapted to having a Sagittarius daughter.
Yeah, I hear you. I hear what you're saying.
Your mom would be over the moon. She would be
my
ecstatic.
God. She would be so excited. She would be so thrilled, but she doesn't want to put any pressure on us.
Well, that's nice. I mean, one step at a time. Get married first, obviously. No pressure. It's just...
Well, where's Lauren to do this?
Yeah, I mean, she's available. She's still got her license certificate, whatever it is. She could do Reiki on you guys, and then get you guys wed, and you'll be feeling great, pretty much.
Perfect.
So that's pretty. It's a pretty interesting time. I mean, you guys should definitely enjoy what you're doing now. And me and Lauren, like we had a lot of fun, and then you could decide, if you're allowed to decide. I really kind of had my own mind made up, early on. So, but there's
just a little bit of pressure with an age thing.
Yeah, that's what it comes. Well, that definitely, that definitely comes up. That's definitely come up before. But and it's also the thing where, it's, from the guy's perspective too, you want to be somewhat young. You don't want to be like, I just saw something about Richard Gere. He's like 70 or something, and he's having a kid with his like 40-year-old wife or something.
Now?
Yeah, Billy Joel and all that. Yeah, no, that's not
super old. And then like that kid's gonna be looking at you like, ugh, what's wrong with this guy? He's like super. Not that anyone out there. I always get nervous that somebody's like, well, my dad was 70 when he had it. I was like, oh no. But it's definitely something that to consider, basically.
Yeah.
So what is it?
Stay tuned for that.
Okay. Well, yeah. The wedding. I'm congratulating you now on the affiancement and also on the upcoming nuptials. I could talk to Lauren, see if she's in the business still of ministering, and let you know. I do recommend the basement of Bond Street. People are always like, "Huh, you got married there?" And I'm like, "Yeah, it didn't look, they did it up nice. It was cool." But it
was awesome. It was so cool.
You guys are gonna probably get some sick pandemic deals like after this. I'm imagining things were kind of shut down, so it's probably not gonna be like jump back into it, all booked up or whatever.
What's going on is the weddings that were supposed to be happening in this spring, people are back to next spring. So actually, it's harder to book a traditional venue anyway.
Wow, how
you think
are you gonna be? Like, Tom, are you going to be the one that's going to super like plan this thing, and Jodi's just going to kind of just have sipping cocktails and be like, yeah, the pink one, the pink one's good. Those are the napkins, and you're sitting there like, what are we going to do? Is that gonna be you?
I'm hoping not. No. I hope again, like something your style, something a little eccentric, and I would speak more to our relationship. And we don't necessarily want to do a cookie cutter package at, I don't want to name any places, but
no, we were there, man. People really, it's highway robbery out there. It was crazy, the numbers we were getting. And then the whole buffet style is way, I don't know, however we did it, that was great because people could just go up and get food. There was no assigned seats. I don't know, it was kind of chaotic, but I don't know, nobody complained, so I think we did okay.
It was awesome. I'm telling you, it was such a great time.
Yeah. Good.
Yeah, that's the one thing I'm super adamant about that I've said that I really don't want is a sit-down dinner, a sit-down meal. That like it's just kind of cocktail hour the whole time.
Yeah. I didn't. We did some traditional stuff. My brother I gave such a good speech at his wedding. People were in tears. I gave such a good speech. And he was, I don't know if he was wasted. I don't know what was, but he gave, they were just, they were just turning the music up on him. They just kind of cut him off at a certain point because he was just babbling. So I don't know, whoever's your best man, make sure they can like either be eloquent or be curt. Just let it like, hey, congratulations. And that's it. Don't have somebody rambling on. It's not a good look. It's not a good look.
I'll make sure to do that.
Yeah. Do you have any, is this thinking too far ahead? Have you thought about like a best man, maid of honor, these kind of, Jody's making a face.
I don't want a wedding party.
You don't, well, I mean, that's definitely, does Tom, do you feel the same way about this?
That's fine. Yeah. All eyes on her. That's,
I was coming in here guns a-blazing. You guys were like, we're going to talk about what it's really like. COVID, lockdown, relationships. And you guys are like, yeah, it's pretty good, whatever. It's cool.
You got to get a little deeper. But at this age, come on. Like this is how I think of it. Any female I have that I invite there, I would want them to be part of the party, like the bridal party. So I'm not going to have 40 girls.
Oh, man. We had Lauren had a friend that they don't like, it was the only dramatic thing, and it really kind of didn't really affect the evening at all. But one of her friends was super mad that she wasn't part of the bridal party, and like it really and we were just like, dude, we had like 2 people on each side, I think. Like we didn't have like a whole, and it wasn't formal at all. And this person, she wasn't that, like, it was a whole dramatic thing. And it was just, it really, like, it tore them apart. It tore them apart. And I was
That's
just like,
horrible.
Yeah.
I can't deal with that drama.
I know. See, neither could I. That's why I was like, good riddance. I'm like, get out of here.
I think that's most weddings. I've heard that more often than not, that
people get mad.
Yeah, mad. A bridesmaid drops out. The bride, somebody's offended. Like,
yeah.
And they're always complaining. Like, I don't like this, or this costs too much. Well, let me put you out of your misery.
Yeah.
And do it at all.
Yeah,
like, I
don't.
So much. We're not doing it.
Now, my friends have already talked about the bachelor party. I will say that's literally all that they care about. Anybody who would be a groomsman, like, and then plus a few, like, we've already started planning the bachelor party. We don't even know when we're getting
Of course, men get together for that stuff.
They cannot. My friends with kids, they can't wait to get out of the house and just have a weekend somewhere. They want it a little further away. And
see, I think one of the issues too is that, like, I got married. I was older. And I think a lot of people, maybe not so much these days, but I think a lot of people get married younger, and then you miss all this stuff, partying and whatever, and then you have kids real quick, and then that's, so then you got to look forward to going to bachelor parties and stuff, and that really wasn't the case with me and Lauren. Like, we like to have fun, we like to party, we dated a bunch of, not so wonderful, compatible people for us early on, and we got that out of the way, found out what we liked, and then boom, here we are. Mm-hmm. So I didn't get a bachelor party. My brother really, and I didn't really push for it. And people asked me, and I was just like, whatever, dude. I don't, And then my brother thought it was like some kind of '80s movie. He wanted to do the bachelor party the night before, like, the wedding.
Oh no!
He wanted to rent a house like down in AC, and I was just like, you're fucking crazy. I'm like, I'm not doing that. And he was trying to plan all this whole thing last minute. I'm like, no, dude, no, forget it. Too much drama, too hard. Because could you imagine me all like hungover and sick for my wedding? Like, I didn't want to do that.
And maybe tattooed on the face.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
The tiger in your room.
Yeah, Mike Tyson. Definitely. Yeah, I didn't want any of that to happen. So, I kind of just, that whole thing, it went by. So, basically, you guys are committed somewhat. I mean, being engaged, people say it's a big deal, you're engaged, but it's not like the show, it's not like the main stage. You guys are just kind of like playing chicken with each other at this point. That's basically what it comes down to. Like, are you sure? I'm going to put this ring. Okay, the ring's on. The ring's on, buddy. The ring is on. And then you're just waiting until the day. And then when you sign the papers, then it's like legal and you're like, you're done. You're done. That's it. So
you're locked in.
Yeah, you're locked in. So during this pandemic, has any issues arisen between the relationship? Have you guys, what was the first pandemic fight argument you guys got in? And you better have had one. Otherwise I'm going to be very upset.
So yeah, so
Jody's nervous laughter. Tell me.
usually if we're going to butt heads for whatever reason, it happens in the kitchen. And I don't know if that's something common in other people's relationships or whatever. Maybe it's where the Virgo Sagittarius,
The acoustics maybe in the room.
It must be.
Yeah, but it usually is food related. We eat very kind of differently before we met, and then we kind of now eat very similarly. But I guess.
So do you literally fight in the kitchen, or do you fight about things that are in the kitchen?
Yeah, fight about the kitchen. Like
We just don't play nice in the kitchen. About prepping or how it's being cooked. Trivial.
Yeah. But like these things last literally like 5 or 10 minutes, and that's how I know like that she was the one, because it's like we can have like we can say a few things like, oh, I would have done it that way, or whatever, and then it's over. Like it doesn't. There's no grudge. There's no.
Could it be you guys are hungry? Could that be
Oh,
why?
that
helps. Yeah.
Yeah.
It took us a while to realize that. Like, I don't leave the house unless I have like some snacks, a granola bar packed for Lauren, like something to make sure that we could make it point A to point B.
That's what he does too.
Yeah.
He packs a whole cooler to make sure that there are things in the glove box and in the center console.
He's
like
smart.
I need to eat. I feel like every hour, every two.
So you're a snacker. People are different. Everyone's different.
It's not even that I like to snack. It's like I have to eat.
What do you mean, like a whole meal? Is he putting like hamburgers in the glove compartment and stuff?
Well, I don't eat meat, but it could be a veggie burger. But I mean, I'm not shy about eating. I don't know. Like, I exude a lot of energy spinning around that lollipop. I just got to eat.
That's true.
That's the formula to the arguments. She's always a little bit hungry too, I think.
You just got to slip her something.
Or it's
Be
before
like,
we
here's an
eat.
almond joy. Just have this.
Yes. Yeah.
What so as far as fly and release yoga goes, you were doing a lot of trips. You were going out of the country. You were going to and fro. Did you have anything planned before all this stuff happened? Did you have any trips planned or what?
No, kind of slowed down on the retreats about a year or so ago, and just focused on the aerial yoga teacher trainings.
Nice.
I love doing those so much. It feels really good to educate people and them to walk away having more knowledge than they did before. It's a very different kind of vibe throughout the process, and I really get so much joy from that. So we actually did have a teacher training during the quarantine, and we had to reschedule it. But it's now we rigged up a hammock, an aerial hammock in the garage. We're going to make it kind of really pretty backgrounds in there so we can start filming classes and put the whole teacher training manual
Perfect.
And just kind of taking as much as we can of fly and release and putting it online. I started a YouTube channel. Let me tell you, I feel like an 85-year-old learning the internet for the first time. I have no idea how to use this.
You did that whole video on Instagram. I don't know if it was like from TikTok. You put it on Instagram, or you did the one where they like put the hand or no, it was the bottle and the wine. And then like drop the bottle.
Oh yeah,
that was great.
No, I don't know how to use TikTok. Are you kidding? It's people telling me just do this, and I'm like, okay.
Well, you did it.
Instagram works and Facebook, but YouTube, I'm watching these tutorials, and so just uploading content. And even though it's really old and it's short, but just hey, go to my YouTube channel.
What is it? I was like typing in fly and release.
I think we're up to, I don't know, maybe 22 followers.
Hey, that's where you got to start. I'll start somewhere,
A day.
Yeah. Literally just started this. It's in the baby phase. But
what's it called? What's the channel called?
If you go on my Instagram, right in the bio is the link.
Oh, nice.
So right now, when you are a baby YouTuber, unless you have X amount of followers, you can't make a custom URL. And that makes it
I know
a
all
little bit
about
more difficult. So, I'm really excited about it because, learning something new is exciting, keeps your brain fresh, and it feels it's
Boom.
frustrating but fun.
All right. So are these ones that you're making now? Tom, is that your like activity gym set? Where's this? What is this? That's not your basement, is it, Tom?
That is the basement.
Is that all your weights, man? Are you jacked? Are you jacked under that shirt, bro?
No, since quarantine, we kind of redesigned the whole basement. Like I've been like something that would have taken me a year or two to do. I've gotten a tremendous amount of like work. And you see how organized it is. We're in the same.
Yeah. See, you guys get along. There's no fighting. There's no fighting here, is there?
There really is. I hate to.
Jodi
It doesn't have to be. There doesn't have to be fighting. I used to think that was part of a normal part of a relationship.
Yeah.
Like when I met Jodi, I realized, okay, we've like 12 months goes by, and we don't stay mad at each other for more than 10 minutes.
Jodi was really selling it in the text. She was just like, "We're gonna tell all. It's gonna be some juicy stuff in there."
I mean, you got to ask the right question.
Some bullshit.
We
weren't born this way. Neither one was born this way. It takes it's effort, and if anybody wants to know a secret and like how to do it, it's like communication, and like you got to work on it like you're training for a sport or a business. Like you can't just like wing it. Like you have to be a little intentional about it. And
I just woke up one day and I was just like, nah.
You did, but
we were just arguing and I was just like, nah, I just don't want to argue anymore. And
Right.
We just I think we just kind of de-escalated the situation. It was like a hostage negotiation and it was getting really tense. And then eventually it's just like, all right, I don't want to, let's just release some of the hostages. Let's all calm down,
Enough of this.
Yeah, exactly. So Jodi, how dare you? I appreciate your persuasive techniques in order to entice me into a podcast situation. And I always love talking to you, so this is fun. And I love your company this time as opposed to last time. It was just like, you really need somebody with Jodi is a very special person. She's a very lovely woman and a very special person. And you need somebody to complement that. And that person can't come in there and be like, well, look, I got this, boo, 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 yeah. And that's the vibe I was getting off the dude, bro, that was there. I'm like, no, dude. Yeah, I'm like, you don't fit into this relationship frame very well. So, but so
this one does.
Yeah, I could tell. It's obvious.
Yeah.
It's obvious, and people, I think the youngsters out there, and I don't know what the kids are doing with their apps and their whatever else is going on. I have a younger brother, and it's not like people date anymore. At a certain point, they're just like hanging out, and I guess eventually you just kind of roll into each other. I don't know what kids do to finally be like, all right, we're going to be, because people are getting married, Yeah,
still. Actually, our neighbor right next door just had a wedding a few days ago.
It was on Friday first. Yeah, he was scheduled. That was their wedding date. And they had a church and a reception place and all that. And since obviously this has all happened, they got married at the church with 5 people and moved their reception to May 1st, 2021. And then they just took pictures across the street.
You can't move the reception to 2021. That's like not having your birthday part, like your birthday not on your birthday, Like,
you think so? You think like having a later reception? Because we've talked about having a ceremony and then later on having a reception.
It's not a reception. At a certain point, it just becomes a celebration of your marriage. So you got to just frame it all different. I had an in-law. She my sister-in-law got married in Colorado, and then her family, lovely people, love them all. They wanted to do a party. They wanted to do another wedding in New Jersey, and I went to the Colorado one. So I wasn't pouting or anything, but I was there just kind of like, we did this already. This is like ridiculous. Now we're at like Comic-Con. We're all playing dress up because, come on, you're married. It happened already, It's too late.
Mm-hmm.
So if it's a year later, is that what you guys are planning to do? Don't do that.
No, we talked about it. We've talked about a lot of different things.
Mm-hmm.
Because we could easily have 300 people there, but obviously that's not happening this year.
Yeah.
So if we wanted to do something with a large number and just have a blowout rager,
Just have a party.
yeah, then that's going to happen next year.
Mm-hmm.
But if we want to do something more personal, and that can happen anytime. It could happen right now on the.
Have you guys like merged bills? Have you guys taken the step to merge your phone accounts? Do you have both
A little bit.
Verizon? Is one on Sprint and one is on T-Mobile?
I have an iPhone. He has something
Android.
that's not an iPhone.
I have an Android. Lauren has an iPhone, but we're both Verizon. We both
We
came
have one
together.
Netflix account now.
Okay.
And
serious.
we share the bills, but we don't necessarily we don't have any joint funds or accounts or anything.
Is Tom like keeping track of? It's May 5th. We got to the electric bill is coming.
Just have it on auto pay. Let's not even talk about it. Just let it get paid
We just
for.
kind of put some things on auto pay. And
There you go. That
what I
makes
like is, finances are probably the number one thing that couples do fight about.
Mhm.
So just being aware of that, we speak very nicely to each other about it.
When was your last relationship, and for how long was it before you met the woman of your dreams?
Aww.
It was probably a good year prior, before I had a more than 1 month, dating period with somebody. And it was with somebody I had dated twice.
Oh
2
yeah,
years
that'll
apart.
do it. That'll do
Yeah.
it. That'll really
We tried
make
it
your
one more
heart
time
go
just
cold.
to make sure.
Yeah,
And
you're just like, I hate all of this. Let's just try you again. Let's go back into the discount bin. This sucks. Let's just see. Maybe I missed some. Maybe I overlooked. It's like when you're looking for that other sock in your drawer. You're like, I'm looking for the pair, and you're like, I'll just look again. Maybe it was in the back. Okay, this is horrible. I'm not.
yeah, a wonderful friend, good person.
That's very sweet, Tom.
Yeah, no, I hope she watches this, but
So that wasn't were you somebody that, I was saying before, I wasn't really a serial dater. I would date one person for a length, and then I just wouldn't date. Were you kind of the same way, where you'd have little relationships, nothing too serious?
Yeah, basically. I would go 3 months with just focusing on work and not really thinking much about it, and then open up the app and say, okay, find somebody to go on a date with. And most of the time I would know within 1 or 2 dates,
You
okay.
seem like the kind of person, you're a dentist. It seems like the kind of person, somebody walks in your waiting room and you look at them and you're like, oh boy. You seem to me like the kind of person that would just know kind of immediately, intuitively, one might say, just to be like, this ain't gonna cut it.
Yeah, you know what though? You got to be careful not to judge, because I honestly think on our
Killing
first.
me, Tom. You're killing me. You're too nice.
I know, I'm not trying to kill it, but on our first date, neither one of us thought we'd be sitting here right now. I firmly believe that, and I don't think on the second date either. So yeah, everybody has first impressions, and you can't help but prejudge every person you.
Oh, I prejudge the shit out of people all day, every day. I look at them, I'm like, nah.
I remember the first time we met, we were walking toward each other, and he had more hair. It was perfectly combed, perfectly ironed and dressed. And I have, this big lion mane, and, kind of always look like organized chaos a little.
I can see that.
And I remember us walking toward each other. I was like, oh, there's no way this guy is going to be into me. Guy is going to be tidy whitey, with this perfect comb and just perfect. And
you were right. He's tidy whitey.
Yeah.
But you
more chaos than organized, and
kind of it balances out. So there was no soul crushing relationship right before meeting Jodi where you were just all right.
No.
Well, Jody, how about on your end? What was the last serious relationship you had before you met Tommy over here?
Well, two of them. So
I do know two of them. They were.
you do.
Yeah, I could set an egg timer to those relationships. I was like, okay, we'll put this here, and we'll wait to see how long this lasts.
Yeah. And one of them, is still, the like Tom had of, you try again, try, and then there's still so much like love there for the person, but they're just not the right one, not the right fit. And the last one that you met, again, just
were you guys living together? Were you living with that guy? You weren't living with that guy.
Yeah, we were living together. And he kind of just pulled the rug out and didn't really say much still this day.
Really?
Say much. And that was always kind of how he was in our relationship. He didn't share.
Daddy
he was
issues.
Unavailable, I guess.
Daddy issues. Divorced. Definitely has divorce. I mean, I have divorced parents, but he definitely had divorced parents.
He actually doesn't have divorced parents, but I do. But he just.
You're telling me this guy, the ex, he had normal parents?
Yeah, they were actually really nice people.
Too nice. Something was happening there.
Family, but I think they were all a little. I'm
gonna have them on the next podcast. We're gonna get to the bottom of this.
Yes, let's go deep. I mean, you could ask us what we found out about each other during this quarantine.
Yeah. Well, what have you? It better be scintillating. What have you guys found out about each other during this quarantine?
Found out that I never wear pants, and my whole body pops. I found out during the quarantine we really don't play nice in the kitchen, but we're working on it.
I mean, what do you
Most
both?
days we do. It's if it's going to happen, it's usually there.
Well, this is what I do in the kitchen. I yell at Lauren to get out. I'm like, just get out of the kitchen. I don't want anyone in the kitchen with me. I don't need anyone in the kitchen. I'll just do it and just let me do it and get. One are you making a salad? The other one's making macaroni and cheese. Like, what are you guys doing? Like, come on. Why would you need two people in there?
I'm a big proponent of the Breville. Shout out to Breville out there. Mm-hmm. I really love it. It's, as we met, I was a single woman and the Breville was my jam, and I don't believe in microwaves, so I haven't used one of those in a long time. And, he likes a conventional oven, which it's time, but I lived so long without using one of those. I would store things in there.
To make cookies, you'll do it in 4 separate batches, or you put them all in one oven at one time. Something
I like
that.
to do the batches so I can eat them while the other ones are cooking.
I had my mother-in-law basically. She made us use it. We didn't have a toaster. We weren't. If we made toast, we would do it in alternative ways. But she basically made us use a toaster and made us use a microwave. I don't use it that much, but, every now and then. I think people think it's crazy, but there's a certain generation where people just don't want to use microwaves anymore for some reason. It's just weird, man. I don't know what's going on, but it's just you feel weird when you're standing like next to it.
Right.
I don't know.
Ours isn't plugged in.
There you go. That's perfect.
It's built in. If it wasn't, I'd get rid of it. It's just part of the cabinetry.
You just got to yank it out and put some nice ferns or something in its place. Put some nice.
That's a great idea. Yeah. Let's put a fern there.
There you go.
He's so handy. He has been building so many cool things and so many projects. So I think we could put a fern there.
That's cool. What kind of projects you doing? Just handy things around the house?
Yeah, so anything that needs to get done, I try to do myself unless it deals with plumbing or electricity. And I built 2 coffee tables, the bar that the computer is resting on.
Shut up. You built 2 coffee tables?
Yeah. Well,
I'm good with the plumbing. I could do the plumbing. I like doing the plumbing. That I can handle. Yeah, that's something where I could for whatever reason, I just figured I don't sweat pipe or anything. I'm not smelting things or using like any kind of welding materials. I use like shark bites and fittings like that, but I take care of the I could do that. I don't want to touch the electrical, and I'll hammer things together, but it's not like, it doesn't look like it should. It's not like coming out the way it should.
I have way more tools than I should have. Like somebody doesn't do it professionally.
What are you guys? Where are you guys in? Belmar? What town are you guys in?
We're close, just Neptune City.
Oh, Neptune. We're right.
Yeah.
I can probably see out my window right now.
Yeah, we're
I
close.
can see you.
I had no idea. I had no idea that you guys were right around the corner like that.
Yes.
So basically, there's no fighting. You guys are getting along. You're getting married. There's no.
Oh my God, are we boring?
There's no skeletons in the closet. You just built it up. I mean, I don't I don't want to ask. I don't want to cross the line, ask too many crazy questions. But
Well, our point here is like you can make it through quarantine as a couple. Like,
and if you don't,
you could do it. Like,
you may want to reconsider.
Yeah.
How are you gonna really break up with somebody during quarantine if you live?
That's a great question. This would be terrible. Like I don't know. But, like you just have to be on opposite sides of the house all the time.
You just figure it out. Actually, we know someone that happened to. They're together, and they're fine. They like very nicely broke up and are staying in different rooms.
Wow.
But I think this is a great test. It really does supercharge your relationship. And you hope that you like the person. As long as you like them.
Yeah.
And I think a big thing too is like having your own hobbies. Like we both have so many hobbies that give us our own individual space.
Mm-hmm.
And we're not on top of it.
We just have the ultimate hobby, which is just the baby. So like it's an ongoing, I don't have, you don't have really, unless you want to sacrifice sleep, you really don't have time to really, do much else. So,
let me ask you, because I know Lauren and I are a lot on this one. We're a solid 8 to 10 hour sleeper.
Yeah. Yeah, she doesn't. She's like got the the woman gets the worst of it. Like she can't. She doesn't. She's not gotten sleep since December. Like she hasn't gotten full. I mean, she might have gotten 5, 6, maybe. I don't even know. She's a light sleeper too. So yeah, she's not sleeping. I go downstairs sometimes. I'm like, F this, and I just go downstairs. I go to sleep on the couch. She gets kind of bitter because I'm obviously well rested, but I'm there. I come back in strong in the morning. I'm making breakfast. I'm telling her to get the hell out of the kitchen. I'm making the breakfast.
What are you making for breakfast?
Oh man, this is I have been put in positions that I do not appreciate because I do not want to cook. I do not want to do this, but I am put in this position, and you get put in the kitchen, and then you have all these ingredients, and you have to make something. So I a lot of eggs, but you try to do different things with the eggs. I'm not healthy per se. Lauren isn't maybe as healthy as either of us have been in the past. So like this morning, I made like a pork roll, egg, and cheese, but I used Swiss. Because Swiss is the key to a good pork roll, egg, and cheese. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Pancakes, eggs. Just mixing different things up, and just making sure we're using everything out of the fridge. Because sometimes things go funky, and pre-pandemic, I didn't care. Now that we're in it, I'm like, I got to use. I called it the apocalypse cheddar block. It was like this. I don't know if I was panicked. I don't know what I was thinking, but I was just like, I got to shop. I shopped, and we had food for like. It was like 3 weeks of like we could have just stayed underground and like eaten and just.
Did you buy like the big round thing of cheese?
No, it wasn't round. It was a big rectangular. No, it wasn't a wheel. It was just a big. It was like this big of cheddar cheese, and like got it like kind of in the beginning, and finally just like I finally finished it.
Now, was this from Costco? Like
that was from ShopRite. That was a quasi impulse buy from ShopRite while I was trying to figure out what we needed, where this was right before. This was like I grew up on like like disaster movies and stuff where you're just like who knows what's going to happen here. I might not ever get cheese again. This might be the last cheese I ever have.
So where are you on this cheese block?
We're done. I finished it. I found numerous ways of making things with the cheese block: grated cheese, sliced cheese, diced cheese. I did it all. You know, our dog likes cheese, not too much cheese, but just a little cheese helps us finish the block. Yeah. So I mean, cheese definitely helps every meal. Usually, I made my second attempt at a chicken parmesan tonight, and obviously the mozzarella really kind of makes it. You know. But it
with cheddar.
No, I used the block. It didn't go on there. But this round actually it comes out better. It comes out better and better. And I'm using a whole entire oven, as Tom would appreciate. You know, Jodi
we used a whole oven tonight. We made a pizza.
So okay, what is that like? If you two are making the pizza together, I mean, it sounds like it would be kind of like gushy and nauseating. Like one of you is like tossing the dough and the other one's singing like Italian songs, like cutting up tomatoes. Is that what it's like?
He was actually, what were you singing?
What was I singing? Wind by Kansas?
Oh, yeah. Lost in the Wind.
A little old school shout out there, but
love Kansas.
Don't ask a long story, but no, that went very well. But being that I know you're a pizza connoisseur,
true.
Maybe we should talk a little bit about like takeout places during quarantine, like, and maybe you can give us some suggestions. Like, what do you think is like the hot takeout places?
I really love Modine. Like Modine. Mm-hmm. Once I realized that they're giving out booze when you could like order food and they drop off booze with it, like that's pretty cool. They have this whole, I don't know what days they're doing it on, but it's like $65, $75, and you get like this whole chicken. You get all these accoutrements, and then you get a bottle of we got like a bottle of Prosecco or something, and it just it gets delivered in a big bag. So like that was the number one place. The number, like I had a craving for Pete and Elda's, and that was the craziest. Like it was just kind of chaos. Like I hopped out of my car and I go to pick up the pizza. And there's a guy with a walkie-talkie waiting outside, like it's a club. And there were all these people. Everyone had masks on, and I was just like walked up, and I was like, "Oh shit!" So I just kind of like slink back to my car and like put my mask on, and then I came back, and I had to like go inside and get the pizza. So it wasn't very accommodating, coronavirus wise, but like the pizza was delicious. What else did we get? I mean, we rock John's Cracker Barrel, which is in Shark River Hills. Like it's this guy Pierre, John Pierre. He bought it. He's this younger guy, and I really want them to survive because it's really the only like convenience store like in the area.
That's all you have in that little peninsula there.
Yeah, that's the only spot. And then where else did we go? We went to a couple. We had some things like kind of dropped off. Oh, dude! Epic shouts to Laura Trauma over at Trauma's Trattoria in Long Branch. We had that. That was like good.
Was that pickup or delivery?
That was pickup, and it was cool because I popped the trunk. They just threw it in the trunk, and then we sped off. So we didn't get any Rona on ourselves at all. Epic shouts too to Angelo Gingerelli, who won the Totally Local. Totally All-Star Trivia Challenge on Friday night, and he actually won a gift certificate from Totally Local to Trauma's Trattoria for winning the trivia.
Wow! Congrats, Mazel Tov.
Yeah, so good for him. I we have to send that out to him. And then the other people won T-shirts, which I have to actually like. You know, it was two teams. Yeah, I have to like design and make them, and it's like two teams. And then the other team was like, well, I better, like the one team won. And I'm like, all right, you guys get shirts. And the other team was like, well, I want a shirt. I'm like, yeah, but you didn't win. You don't get a shirt. Like that's
I want a shirt.
Yeah,
where
see?
can we
I gotta
get this merch?
If people really want the merch, I guess I can release. I gotta do the first printing, get it to the winning contestants, and then I guess I could open it up. To other people if they really want it. I got to figure out the best way to lay out a shirt. What kind of style or design of like do I have? Like you got to have like a woman's shirt, then you got to have a man's shirt. Like how do you design it? There's things to consider.
Or you could just also go with like a hat, which is unisex.
Yeah, but like I want people. Hats are tough. Like hats. not everyone's gonna wear a hat, but everyone will wear a shirt. You know,
Sure.
like I've had some ridiculous T-shirts that might not have been my favorite, but when you're at the bottom of the drawer, you're just like, all right, well, I guess I'm wearing this totally local shirt. Here we go. So just for some advertising. But
I want a shirt. I'm ready.
all right, well, I'll have to figure that out. Well, I am figuring it out. So yes, you will be the first. You won't be the first to know. Let's be honest, but you'll be one of the first to know. What's on the horizon for you guys? When are you gonna just finally decide to tie the knot? No, I'm just kidding. When are you guys like? What are you guys like? How is the dentistry? How is your dentistry practice being affected by what's going on? And when do we get back into the office? Because I don't know if it's too intimate for you, Tom, but I got some things that you need to look at. You need to look at some things in my mouth. So when's the office open up?
Unfortunately, in New Jersey, we don't have a date. States have opened already. We're open for emergencies only. So, this week I'll probably see 5 or 8 people.
What are people coming in with?
So pain, a tooth broke,
Man.
like trauma stuff, and
anything nasty, anything like
something that can't make it to next week.
Mm-hmm.
Usually maybe in an average week I might see 50, 60, 70 people, and now it's like 5. So
I have a cousin who's she's a children's dentist, and I was eating linguine one time. There was a clamshell in there, bit it, and then I swear a week or 2 later, I don't know if my tooth was cracked and then didn't really fall out, and then one day I felt and I was like, oh crap. So between you and me, she helped me out. She kind of smoothed it over, and she did some x-rays, and she's like, you have your wisdom teeth, and I'm like, yeah. And she was just like, oh god. She's one of those people that you tell them something, they're like, oh god, oh god.
Do I know her? Maybe
you might. We could.
Okay, well, you text me.
Yeah, exactly. But she bugged me out a little bit because I got I'm wondering if I'm gonna die now, Tom, because I have my wisdom teeth.
So this is a situation, where if somebody put off getting their wisdom teeth, and their dentist said when they were 21, hey, you better do this, and they're like, oh yeah, I know better than you, and then. Now they're 30 something and they get that abscess, that infection or something. And that's somebody I would be seeing this week.
Well, this is what, sometimes, cause I floss, if anything, my dentist, cousin taught me to floss, and I floss, but I was reading about how you could kind of there's these little openings over the gums where the wisdom teeth are, and you can get little food particles lodged in there, and then I get inflamed where it hurts, it hurts my head, you'll feel your nerve endings up in your head, you have oh, it feels so bad. But I'll be okay, right, Tom? That's not going to lead to any kind of problems, right?
Next time you get that, give me a call. Yeah. It's your body's trying to tell you something.
What am I'm at this point, I'm scared to go under the knife because I'm just what if it's just some freak accident, my wisdom teeth get pulled out, and then I'm dead, Tom? What if I die? That could
we
happen.
have paperwork so that
you don't get in trouble.
Yeah, we don't get in trouble.
What's gonna can I seriously, could something bad can happen because I have my wisdom teeth in?
No, it's 1 in a million.
Right.
The benefits far outweigh the risk.
What if I just want to get 2 of them? I only have 3 because I'm an evolutionary. I'm part of evolution, and I'm the part
You're a little further than us.
Yeah, I'm a little further, not too much. But evolution was just you just get 3. So what if
Really?
What if
that's a thing?
Yeah. Yeah, what do you think? I'm making this up, Jodi. What if I just want 2 of them? Would you talk somebody into being all right, you have 3, let's just get them all out? Or would somebody be look, I don't want to do. Is it per tooth? Does it cost per tooth?
Yes. So it would be, if one would be say, I don't know.
Whatever, whatever it is, just one.
Yeah, whatever, then times 3 for 3.
Okay. There's no bulk discount to get them all done? You wouldn't hook
I think there should be, but no, that's,
No, you guys just run the world, you dentists.
Well, there kind of is, right? Because if it's a matter if they go under anesthesia once. Or
go to sleep. But you could, in theory, do this with just local anesthesia, depending if you wanted to be awake. But if you wanted to get an IV and go to sleep,
Ooh, IV. I was thinking nitrous. You do like an IV with stuff?
That would be the oral surgeon. I would refer if you wanted to go that route. Give you an IV in your arm.
Do you have any nitrous in your office where you just put on the Snoopy nose and just kind of like drift off?
I could give you that if you wanted that. Yeah. So
I had teeth pulled when I was younger, and that was my first kind of druggy kind of experience. And I was like, nitrous is fun, you know. But then I went to fish shows, and I was like, nitrous is really fun. But everyone be responsible out there.
If I were to assess you, I would say you could handle having however you want, 1 or 2 at a time. But if I look at somebody and I think, okay, this person's going to not take it well afterward, and they need all 4, I'll tell them get all 4 out now, because after they do 2, they may never go back.
Yeah.
And so that's the issue. But if I think it's somebody who can handle it and they're fine, it's like whatever you choose.
Is that part of it? Could it be really like painful afterwards? If I got them out, am I just going to be like laid up for days or what?
Pain is all relative. So, what is a 5 on a scale of 1 to 10 to me might be a 2 for you. It could be an 8 for you. So,
I could take it
to predict. Yes. And some people make a mountain out of a molehill. So if I kind of person, I'm going to push you to get it all done at once so that you don't have to revisit it, and you don't have to, it's actually better for you because you don't ever have to go back there. If you have 4 teeth at once or 3 teeth at once, it's not 3 or 4 times the pain. It's just 10% more, in a little different location, but it's not, you have 3 times the pain from 3 teeth.
What's the deal with oh man, what was it called? It's called like I was looking this up because I gotta go in for a teeth cleaning. This is dental talk now, guys. I hope Jodi and everyone at home doesn't mind, but there's like regeneration, or I forget what it's called. I was looking this up.
You think in South Korea you're probably looking at some.
No, I saw there's some guy in Edison that was doing it. There's it rebuilds like the teeth as opposed to like putting like cavities in. I'll have to find the link and send it to you and be like,
okay, yeah, it could be a little stretch, or using the word creatively.
Well, what about so I have like the metal. What is that, like lead, like from the 80s? Whenever they use like porcelain for cavities and stuff now, right? So
the silver fillings are really out of favor now, but they're still like FDA approved. They're more cost effective. So in certain public health settings, like and they're still used a lot. And they actually last longer. I'm not promoting it, not promoting it. But they do have pros and cons to different types of materials. We're fortunate at this time to have a lot of choices of material, whereas like in the 70s, that was it. We filled your teeth with this mercury-based, silver.
If there's like a tiny like hole, let's say on my molar, let's say there's like a tiny like, I don't want to say a hole, but like there's definitely there's something going on there. Is it the kind of case where you have to put a filling in, or can you just kind of smooth it out? Can we put something on there?
So yeah, that's where like our exam would come into play. And if it's soft and tacky in there, that's like the texture. When we're poking around with that little explorer?
Yeah.
We're going to feel it. If it feels hard, like solid tooth, we just leave it be.
Okay, so that's good then.
Yeah, then it would be fine. But if it's like soft and like kind of brownish and like,
oh, that's not happening.
Then that's a disease that's gonna grow.
I something happened on one of my molars where like I was eating an everything bagel and like I like bit like a poppy or something, and it it hit like a nerve. I don't know what it did because I don't have a hole there, but like I bit down and it felt really like. It hurt, like kind of hurt, but it doesn't happen all the time. It's just like this little tiny, if something gets into that area. Tom, I'm going to have to come in and see you, I think.
Should we just call this totally local and just pull it? Let's just pull it.
Pull the tooth?
I could definitely...
Yeah, let's just pull it.
No. So what it sounds like is perfectly normal. Like, I don't think so, but I think I could still, enough information has transpired where I can bill for an exam.
Okay, perfect.
Can you tell them where else you work?
No.
Oh, we can't. Okay, sorry.
The government?
I do some government stuff.
Okay, all right. Some espionage.
He works at a really interesting place, which you would love to dive into.
We'll do a call-in show.
That's perfect.
We'll do a call-in dental show.
I wonder what the
I put pants on for this. I want you to know. I actually wore overalls, so I would legitimately have pants on.
There was no doubt about it. The overalls
You can't
are
question if I'm wearing bottoms. I'm wearing overalls.
It could just be like overall Dickie, where it's just like the top. You could be faking right now.
You're right. Actually, that's a great idea. Great idea.
So when did you guys move in together? How long have you guys been living together for?
Since October. Yeah. So
It's been smooth sailing, and the pandemic hasn't really affected you guys.
No, because here's the thing. Like, if you asked us 2 months before that, we would have said, "Oh, probably like next spring or something like that." And when it came time to renegotiating her lease, Jodi was living in Monmouth Beach, and
a great place,
on Ocean Avenue.
Are you kidding?
Two family house. It was a really nice place, but the landlord was a little full of himself, and he wanted to have his cake and eat it too. And he handed her a lease that was just ridiculous. She's the best tenant of all time. Like,
he raised the rent on you?
No, he just
yes. Well, yes.
Well, he did raise. Yeah, but that wasn't even the biggest thing. What
was the biggest thing?
We knew that we'd probably be moving in together within 6 months of that 12-month lease. So we wanted to put in a provision where, with 90 days notice, she could cancel the lease.
Mm-hmm.
He kind of gave us what we wanted, but put a whole bunch of horrible things where she had to find the next tenant to his liking, that he had to approve the tenant. And it was her responsibility to find the tenant.
Is he insane? Was he old?
I think so.
Insane.
They had cameras everywhere. They knew every time and now they had a house in New York too, so they would only be down on weekends. But on this one time, it was on a weekend. He called me. I didn't answer the phone. I had just gotten home. I was unpacking groceries, and next thing you know, he's knocking on the door, and I answer the door and I say, "Hi." He goes, "Why didn't you answer your phone?"
Oh my God.
Like living underneath two overbearing parents that just had eyes on me the whole time.
That's super weird.
They were like, "Oh, so you go to the beach this amount of times." They were like, "Oh, whose car is this? Who's visiting you? I need to know that. I'm going to go introduce myself."
Wow, that's super weird. Yeah, not worth it. Although Ocean Ave is sick, it's not worth it.
Yeah.
That's super creeps, man. That's super weird.
I mean, they were a little over the top, and listen, they were very nice and very caring, but
What
did they think of Tom? Did they approve of Tom and his?
They liked him.
Okay. Yeah, we met together. We were cordial, but at the same time, like he was just a little too controlling from the landlord point of view, and he should have appreciated her business, essentially.
Yeah, you don't know what you got till it's gone, Joni Mitchell.
Wait, He gave me a percentage moving out. I had a moving out
score of 96.
96%.
What was the 4%?
It's like a checklist of a moving out checklist, and she scored 96%.
What did you get wrong? What did you miss?
I don't. You know what? This is still the question that we will never know, because I wanted to reach out and be like,
why?
I lose because I don't understand, but at the same time, I didn't want to open up those can of worms.
I think he was probably just he was a little bitter, and he didn't want to he didn't want to let go of his best tenant, and he was just like, I'm not going to give her the satisfaction of having 100%.
Mm-hmm.
He thought we would, because we told him before we did not want to move in together till the spring, and this was like in August, September. So he was kind of trying to call our bluff. Like when I said this lease is not signable, like you're not
insane. I don't even know if that's like legally binding to like put somebody else in charge. Like
it probably wouldn't be, but do we really want to fight it?
No. His wife's a lawyer.
Oh God.
Yeah. So it was entertaining, to say the least. Like, I mean, they had their own driveway. I had my own, and they would chain off their driveway even if their car was in it.
They pull their car in, and then they take this chain across to block.
Super weird.
Or they would park their car in a way. I don't know how they did it. It was as if they picked up the car and put it. It was like All right, so if here's the driveway, right? Like you would pull in this way, they would somehow park the car this way.
They were really worried about people getting a spot in there, huh?
It was so over the top. I don't know how they put the car there. There was no space on either side. It didn't make
OCD
sense.
to another level. So long story short, accelerated our relationship before the quarantine, and the quarantine's accelerating it. And
we still liked each other.
We're fortunate that for the number.
Well, I mean, you guys were engaged. You guys were engaged in February.
We weren't engaged at that time, though. No, that was pre-engagement. So
no, but you said you got engaged in February, right? So
yes.
Pandemic was in March for most people.
Yep.
Unless we moved in together in October.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, then you guys, you guys aren't fighting about anything. You're getting along. You make pizza together, which is nauseatingly adorable. You've gotten Jodi at her Sagittarius best. Tom has, he's evolved into the dentist before us, and you guys are getting along. So how dare you? I thought we were gonna like really, really start yelling at each other.
Again, you just got to ask the right question.
That's such bullshit, Jodi. That is such bullshit. Lauren
he was asking me. He was like, "What kind of questions is he going to ask?" I go, "Well, he does do his due diligence, so that's public information. He's going to see it." So
I was waiting for Howard Stern level.
Is there? Wow. Listen. I want to be respectful. That's what Lauren was like. What are you going to ask him? You're going to ask him like, sex stuff? I'm like, no, I'm not going to ask him sex stuff. But there's. I was talking to her about one of our early on very intimate moments, not sexual per se, but like I was like, what if I told that story? Would you get mad? And she was like, no, I wouldn't get mad. I'm like, all right, well, I mean, just to judge where people's like level of like how where can you go with people, which I'm still trying to learn as I go here. But I haven't found that baseline of like, I guess I'm not like Howard Stern. I guess I could ask weird questions, but I don't know.
Well, we kept this very mom friendly, so
yeah, we can tell our moms about it now. So.
Yeah. I didn't. Yeah, this has gotten me into maybe not trouble, but maybe more of a FOMO situation where I could have asked so many questions and I didn't ask.
Well, we could stay tuned for part 2 if you enjoy seeing us and listening to this.
It's gonna be overwhelming demand for part 2.
I'm gonna hire now an investigator to really get to the bottom of what's going on. If you guys are like in some kind of swinger kind of relationships, if there's some kind of like, sex parties and stuff, if there's, latex and stuff involved, I'll have to get to the bottom of all this. Is there any latex stuff involved that we should know about? Do you guys put on like full latex bodysuits and like rub each other with oil or anything? No.
I mean, we're hanging from different apparatuses, like a lollipop and a pole, and we have a hammock, and we don't need that.
Spandex, no latex.
We were, I was talking to Lauren about some of the links people go to with certain things, and then the latex for me always comes up because it's so like. It's like, come on, guys! Like, really, you got to put on like it looks so uncomfortable. It looks so I don't know, but anyway, we don't have to get.
Have you been to the underground club up in Newark?
Certainly not. What is it called?
I highly suggest you going there. It's a goth club. It's
when was the last time you were there?
Oh, God, it's been years, but let me tell you, it's got a sweet spot in my heart. You got your combat boots, you got your goth, alternative, industrial style music. There's where you'll see a lot of uncomfortably dressed people.
Was there sex stuff in the club, or is it just like people dressed uncomfortable? And what were you wearing when you visited? Were you gothed out?
I'm sure I was.
That's all you should run for politics. That's
gosh, that's maybe his role. I would just be a good first woman.
She did mention when we met, she's like, you may not ever want office with some things in my history.
We'll never get to the bottom of it unless I hire that investigator. But I do appreciate
Well, we
you
look
guys.
forward to your new friends.
I do the outro here, and when I play the outro, you guys have to dance around a little bit. I make everybody do it, so you have to do it as well. So when you hear the music. But I just want to say, guys, thank you so much again for... What the heck? I want to thank you again for really letting us into your very... you guys get along. You guys get along. It's not a bad thing. So congratulations. I look forward to where this relationship is going to be. Again, we have Jodi and Tom. Thanks a lot, guys. It's been
Thanks,
totally
Andrew.
local.
Thanks, Andrew.
Guys, yeah.
He's trying to spin you around in the chair.
Why don't we get off?